Angel Studios sued The Chosen. Okay, The Chosen is not suing Angel Studios. Angel Studios sued The Chosen. That it expected to collect as much as $2.6 billion.
The show is nothing without the good writing. You could make, you know how long it takes to read Matthew? To read all the Gospels together? What? 2 hours? 3 hours maybe? And we've had hours and hours of content. Y'all think I'm crazy?
Ruslan.
Before we get into that, guys, my name is Ruslan, and this channel exists to encourage you to mastermind your business the master's way. All right, now let's get into the video. An epic feud is looming between two Christian entertainment giants, Angel Studios versus The Chosen. I'm not gonna lie to you. This whole situation is really sad. Newsweek is breaking the story because Dallas Jenkins explained that there's going to be a delay in his own video about The Chosen Season 4 hitting streamers. Okay? And
Thanks.
Newsweek just decided to just go and make a mess of this whole situation by running this article. And you guys are demanding it, and everyone's talking about it.
So it sounds like they had behind the scenes information and they waited for a hint of it to come out so that they could talk about it.
I think there's some SEC filings that they looked at to get some of this information. So let's read through this. So a feud of biblical proportions, so to speak, came to head this week with announced streaming delay of the 4th season of The Chosen. It's become arguably the most popular TV show in the world. Seeing the organic rise of The Chosen, you wouldn't think of it in this level of proportions, but it makes sense. Dallas Jenkins, director, writer of The Chosen, announced Sunday by way of a YouTube video that the free streaming of the 4th season of the show will be delayed due to legal matters. Okay, so this is the video Dallas posted on Instagram. Dallas posted it on YouTube and just said it was delayed. And I thought it was delayed for like technical reasons. I didn't understand it had anything to do with this. And apparently Newsweek kind of did some recognizance work and got some of these details, right? Fans eager to see the new season can still pay to see it in theaters, which I think is fine. While Jenkins was purposely vague in his comments, SEC filings from the show's distributor, Angel Studios, indicate a breach between The Chosen LLC and the studio. According to filings from February, The Chosen informed Angel Studios in April 2023 that it intended to dissolve its content agreement due to breach of contract, pending arbitration between the two companies. Okay, so the reason why this is not good, even running this article, is because they're in arbitration right now. What that means is they're not in a lawsuit yet. They're in arbitration. There's paperwork that's been filed, and they're trying to privately work through this stuff. Okay, which is what we want. Okay. On October, The Chosen reiterated its intent to move on from Angel Studios. So this is why The Chosen has their own app now. They moved on from Angel Studios. Angel Studios is a crowdsourcing platform. Okay, so what they did is they crowdsourced through the pay it forward type of model. And they got people to fund the initial season with the largest fundraiser of like $10 million or whatever they raised. They also gave up portions of equity in that. I don't know if it was the first season or in The Chosen LLC. I don't know how that worked. What that means is that Angel Studios provided the infrastructure to fundraise. They did not provide, from my understanding, a ton of capital to get this off the ground. Okay, gotcha. Which anytime there's a model like this, you're gonna outgrow it.
It gets messy.
It gets messy.
It's the classic. The thing does too well to now rely on and give equity to the thing that started it, which was once a bigger platform, but is now a significantly smaller platform.
This happened similar where there was a Christian hip hop label. I'm not gonna say their name. That used a similar model, where they gave everything away for free. They were like, hey, we give everything for free. Freely given, freely receive.
Yeah.
What that did was it unfortunately diluted the value of Christian music, and they received donations on the back end. And then everyone else who was charging, whether they was charging for shows, charging for merch, charging for music, this is before streaming took over, were looked at sideways because we weren't giving away everything for free. It's like, how are you expecting people to make a living off of art? You're diminishing the value of something. And now with streaming, it's even taken a bigger hit in terms of Spotify music. So I'm paralleling this to this model where you train an audience to just expect everything for free and through donation. I don't think that's a sustainable model when now we're getting into big boy numbers and it's costing $50 million to do a season of The Chosen.
Sheesh.
Or $25 million or whatever the number is. The number is. You've trained an audience I'm not saying The Chosen did this. I'm saying this model.
Mm-hmm.
And less than 5% give to their local church. You think that they're gonna be giving to The Chosen entertainment show? So now we have this audience that's like, and kind of entitled to just free stuff, and they're mad that they're not getting season 4 for free, when in reality you can go see it in theaters.
Yeah.
Which isn't a drop in the bucket of what it costs to produce a season. You can go. We can't buy it. I would buy it, right? And so I think this is the tension of this, of my opinion of what's happening when you have these pay it forward models. The nasty rivalry comes at a time with faith-based projects have finally been hitting their stride. Titles like Jesus Revolution and distributed by Lionsgate. After years of miscues since Passion of the Christ took Hollywood by storm. Angel Studios, in addition to The Chosen and other faith-based projects, distributed and marketed Sound of Freedom. The film made $250 million worldwide, despite complaints that it exaggerated the heroics of a vigilante who saved children from sex traffickers. And I think Dallas says this, I don't know if it's in this article, but like that $250 million, that had already been paid for. So now that's all profit. The Chosen makes money, they have to put that into the next season.
Mm-hmm.
Angel Studios has found further success by selling streaming rights to Sound of Freedom to Amazon Prime. While its release, Cabrani is earning a 91% score among 64% critics at Rotten Tomato, and Chosen Inc. is working on several spin-offs of its namesake show about Jesus, as well as new projects. Okay, neither Angel Studios nor Chosen would speak to Newsweek for this report, but stakes in the ongoing turmoil are huge. Angel Studios said in its 22 lawsuit that it expects, so Angel Studios sued The Chosen. That's what happened here.
Yikes.
Okay, The Chosen is not suing Angel Studios. Angel Studios sued The Chosen. That it expected to collect as much as $2.6 billion from the planned 7 seasons of the show. Hold on.
Who's doing the numbers on that? Who's running that? First of all, what was the breach of contract in the first place?
I don't know, and it's not for us to know.
I wish.
We're not supposed to know. I'm saying, how do you make these projections on the show, no disrespect to Angel Studios, that you just crowdfunded?
Yeah.
You created the infrastructure to crowdfund it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not actually writing $20 million check saying go do your first season. You just created the app and the infrastructure, and based on you creating app and infrastructure and a system and an idea to crowdfund, you were expecting to make $2.6 billion.
This is that.
This is Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
This is that Shark Tank. The Christian market is a $100 billion market. If we just get 2.6% of that market, we expect to make $2.6 billion.
This is a crazy number, and I think not a good look for Angel Studios to demand these sorts of numbers. And I'm this is insane. This is insanity.
The crazy part too is that I feel like the numbers that they're actually doing and everything are too big to accidentally part ways. That's why when I think about what was the actual breach of contract that the Chosen LLC was like, all right, you breached contract, we're peacing out. They probably had some decent legal grounds for that. And now the Angel Studios might just be kind of butthurt. It might be finding their own, you breached the contract here. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, I don't feel like they would be that messy with all of this cash flow to be like, you're not getting your equity anymore. So that's just bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the breach of contract is at all. I have zero idea what that is. All I'm saying is they were expecting to make $2.6 billion off of a show that, from my understanding of how their model works, was crowdsourced and crowdfunded. That's a crazy number to the average person on a show that you didn't actually come with physical money for, and you didn't, right? Like
produce, write it.
It's just kind of, that's just a wild number. Let's keep going. The trait of legal documents and SEC filings tell a tale of behind-the-scenes infighting that has gone on for at least 3 years, culminating with the delayed season amid legal arbitration. So this is hopefully getting worked out in arbitration, okay? Before someone goes in front of a judge, things got to get worked out through arbitration, okay? This could take weeks, months, or even years to settle. Keep going down. Now they do something kind of foul here, but it's not as bad. So then it goes back to Angel Studios as VidAngel, a service created by the brothers Neil, Daniel, Jordan, which stripped out inappropriate scenes from mainstream movies to make them palatable for family viewing. It caught on with Christians, but was nearly put out of business when in 2016 Disney, Lucasfilm, 20th Century Fox, and Warner Bros. Sued the service because they were taking out scenes from content.
They're modifying it.
Yeah, it's copyright content, right?
Yeah.
When you got to look at The Chosen, initially he was very effective, helping VidAngel navigate bankruptcy, settle with studios that sued it, and remain in business while also encouraging it to become a more traditional studio. They entered into a full-time employment contract in late 2020, and on March 2024, VidAngel was reborn in Angel Studios. But according to the lawsuit, things quickly headed south, such as when Pilo, so this guy was working for Angel Studios, allegedly advocated to allow The Chosen to strip the Angel Studios logo from the opening credits that was being prepared for broadcast television. Now, who knows why he did that, but that's this guy Pilo is doing that. Pilo was chief distributing officer. The lawsuit alleges that his focus was on content creation, and he insisted that the company was too much of a platform rather than a studio. Things became so testy that in 2021, he allegedly demanded the executives choose whether they were on Team Chosen or Team Angel. A few months later, Pilo left Angel and eventually joined The Chosen LLC as president. So this guy was over at Angel Studios. Then he joined The Chosen LLC.
So this guy saw what the problem Angel Studios had, which was they're too much of a platform and not much of a studio.
Right.
Which is what you were saying before. It's like they had the platform to crowdsource, but they didn't have the ability to actually create projects. And so he was like, well, I'd rather create projects than be part of a platform.
Yeah. Angel's complaint against Pilo alleges that acting as Chosen president, he sent a bombshell letter to Angel Studios asking to voluntarily give up so many of his distribution rights to The Chosen that it would have been left solely with rights to older seasons of the show. It could stream free for audiences, The Chosen for delay, while the issue raised in the lawsuit were settled by a content sharing agreement in October 2022, which cleared the way for the release of season 3. The issue between the two companies have put season 4 release date in doubt. So what's happening is they got to keep The Chosen on the Angel Studios app, and The Chosen launched his own app. That's where they were around this time, and that's when we saw The Chosen app launch, and you didn't just consume it on Angel Studios. Jenkins also said The Chosen Inc. is spending tens of millions of dollars to translate the show through the nonprofit, right? So this just requires a lot of money. Okay, now this is funny. SEC filings show The Chosen has risen dramatically over the years. In 2020, production cost $8.2 million annually. That's when they crowdsourced it, I think, or around that time. A year later, it was $20 million. And in 2022, it was $47 million. So that's what it cost. I want to say Lil Dicky was in that.
Was this was to make a full season?
Yes.
And then this is what it originally was?
Yeah, so this is when they crowdfunded it.
Wow. They did a lot with a little.
And the show has gotten better.
It has.
Right? The finale of season 3 was amazing. Now,
hey, that worked out because the beginning of Jesus' life doesn't require you know what I'm saying? Didn't require a lot of funding there.
That's right. Yep.
So now that at least they got the big money by the time they had to get to the walking on water bit.
Yes. Now this is kind of foul to me. Though I don't think there's anything wrong with it. The salary for Jenkins climbed from $174,000 in 2020 to $1.1 million 2 years later. Still a pittance in Hollywood standards for someone instrumental in the production of a hit TV show.
You think it was foul for them to air that out?
I don't think they needed to do that. First of all, Dallas wears like 5 different hats. This man runs the show, writes, directs, like they contribute books, right? Like to do this, like, and granted, Newsweek did say still a pittance in Hollywood standards for someone instrumental in the production of a hit TV show. That is true.
Yep.
But that's kind of
they didn't have to air it out.
They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that. I think they know that Christians are going to probably feel a way about this, and so they threw that number out there.
That's crazy.
But anyone that knows anything about media or Hollywood, that's not a lot of money for writer, director, all the different things he does.
Yeah, all the different things he does, plus the headache, plus being the face and communicator of the show. Mm-hmm. That's huge. It's not just he's in a back room writing the story, which by itself, we have to acknowledge The Chosen is relies heavily on really good writing.
Mm-hmm.
You strip good writing out of The Chosen, it's nothing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
well, I don't know if it's nothing anymore.
Bro,
it's a Christian TV show.
Another Christian corny TV show.
Zach is wilding right now. I understand what you're saying, but you're talking about a show based on the Bible, and you're like, you take out the fictional writing, and it's nothing. You sound crazy right now.
No, that's not what I said. That is not what I said.
That's how people are going to take it. You know someone's going to clip it that way, bro.
What? That you...
It's nothing anymore. Okay, it just came out weird.
I didn't say the gospel's nothing. I said the show's nothing.
Okay.
The show is nothing without the good writing. You could make... You know how long it takes to read Matthew? To read all the gospels together? What? 2 hours? 3 hours maybe? And we've had hours and hours of content. Y'all think I'm crazy?
All right.
That's not crazy. I'm saying that is a huge feat to capture the Christian attention without having people saying, wow, this show is just another Christian TV with bad writing that's corny. I wish Christians could make good media. That was the overall take before The Chosen.
Okay. That's true.
So 1.1 million to revive the hope and dreams of Christian media a year is, to me, is not that crazy. That man makes
that just came out wild.
That's his opening wage.
Shout out to Kevin. He said, film theory, what they are hiding is that the Mormon employees at Angel Studios was taken over. Some people don't think The Chosen's good. You got Joel in here over on Facebook saying The Chosen's not good. I think you're wilding, Joe.
The Chosen is not good.
I think
that's a very legitimate statement.
It's a legitimate statement.
Not legitimate. That's a very universal statement.
That's a just like absolute statement.
Absolute. It's just very.
So Zach is speaking to the history of Christian media.
Chosen single-handedly revived Christian media.
Now that part may be true.
Christian music downfall. Everyone's just watering it down, making pop love music to their wife. Rapzilla going out of business, having a fundraiser to stay alive. People weren't creating Christian movies because the ones we were familiar with were so boring and so corny. We only watched them when we were 8 years old with our parents. And then The Chosen comes in, Dallas comes in with this amazing script, amazing team, and they produce this show that single-handedly revives Christian media.
Jenkins noted in his video that episodes of season 4 are in theaters and that a DVD in his future for those wishing to binge watch the season now that streaming is delayed and efforts are underway to bring the season to churches and prisons. I think that's beautiful. But SEC documents indicate that Chosen Inc. has limited rights to freely stream The Chosen, stipulating that it can do so on the Chosen app only if the show also streams on an Angel app, which is owned by Angel Studios. All right. Chosen Inc., though, is able to release entire seasons in theaters, which is smart, but that means fans accustomed to seeing the show for free, and this is the crux of the issue. Fans accustomed to seeing the show for free won't be able to, perhaps until arbitration concludes. Cinemark, for one, is selling tickets. So they're selling tickets. Jenkins told fans in this video that he is determined to keep making the show available on the Chosen app, but it's expensive endeavor that relies on financial help from viewers, of which less than 5% have made donations. Not to mention how his relationship with Lionsgate may be impacted, as Chosen Inc. struck a deal last year that gave the mainstream studio certain distribution rights to The Chosen. Lionsgate did not respond to a request for comment. All right. Been viewed by nearly 400 people, certain seasons on Netflix. So listen, it is not uncommon for people in business to hit rough patches. Zach and Dave Ramsey always say the only ship that doesn't sail is a partnership. Okay. And these models, though they appeal to Christians and oftentimes are necessary to get Christians behind anything, because Christians tend to be so cheap and so just not supportive with their funds when you're getting stuff off the ground, is not the way to sustain and grow something and scale something. And I think it's ironic that Angel Studios was expecting a $2.6 billion payout from this without investing a ton of capital into this process, or money into this process. My opinion is Christians who want cool things, like The Chosen, need to be willing to pay for said cool things.
Mm-hmm.
I was just speaking to someone recently about the amount of revenue it just takes to do stuff. Like, it's just expensive to do. Like, even planning our own conference, like, to do anything, it's just expensive.
To order these prayer journals.
Is expensive. Like, stuff costs money. And so I think, like, you got to go broad to appeal to people initially, but over time, man, we got to be willing to pay for stuff, you know? And so I hope they allow, like, an option where, like, okay, cool, you can go in theaters. Then once it's out of theaters, you can pay to binge. you know, and like I can pay to binge it. And if I want to watch it on Amazon Prime or wherever, I could pay to binge the whole thing. And then eventually at the bottom of it, you can allow people to get it for free. When we were putting out music, 2017, 2018, as streaming was starting to hit, we did the same thing. We would put the albums on our website first. Then you would get a physical copy if you wanted one. Then we would put it on like iTunes where you could physically buy it, and we're getting $7 an album. And then eventually we would put it on Spotify and Apple Music. You stagger releases, and that allows people who maybe they refuse to pay for anything. Cool, you'll get it last.
Yeah.
I think this is a reasonable medium, and I don't think that means that The Chosen has gone Hollywood. I think the reality is like good things cost money to produce. That's just it, man.
Yep.
Good things cost money to produce. Thank you so much for watching that video. Guys, I believe that one of the best ways you can build a business is by first building a platform online. So Zach Sparazzo put together a free training for you on the #1 metric you can be looking for to explode your YouTube platform. Click the link in the pinned comment below so you can start that now. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace.